Hello there, UK here, and today I've been working on an experiment, and that experiment is how to make this. Can you guess what it is? Out of some of this. This is British double cream. 600 ml, I think, is about a pint. So these were an unbelievably brilliant bargain. There's a massive shelf full of them, just full, so loads for everybody else as well. And I bought some at, they're supposed to be £1.25 for a carton, and they were all 20p. I know that I could use them to make ice cream, but I don't want to make ice cream. What I want to make is butter, and I've never made it before. I just bought all of the cream on an impulse. What did it cost? 20, 40, 60, 80, 160, 320 all in all for the cream. And I've only used 6 pots so far. I've still got 8 left there. So I've used 6 pints of cream, and I've made this huge lump of butter. This huge lump of butter. They're not in their final form yet. I haven't cut them or shaped them or what have you. And this is another lump of butter that I'm just washing off, which is a process that you have to go through. Now, I'd already decided I was going to make butter, and I didn't have a recipe. I thought I needed a recipe. But then I thought, well, I don't think there is a recipe. I think it's just cream, and then you whisk it until it turns into a solid mass. So I dug out my brilliant book by Darina Allen, The Forgotten Skills of Cooking. And this is one of those books that you would have for the rest of your life once you've got it. If you're interested in cooking from scratch and growing your own food, I mean, she even tells you at certain points, you know, how to gut a fish, how to forage for fruits and things like that. It's just an absolutely marvellous book, basically. And even though I didn't know that I'd got this, I overlooked the fact that there was a section on butter when I'd originally looked through this, when I'd had it some months ago. I managed to find this after I bought all the cream, and gosh, don't I go a long way around saying something? Yes, I do. I admit that. Anyway, to get to the point, basically what she says here is butter is a long-forgotten skill, butter making, basically, but that nothing could be more simple. And all that you do is you use unpasteurised or pasteurised double cream, which this is. It says fresh pasteurised British double cream. And basically, if you want to salt it, you add dairy salt, whatever the difference between that and normal salt is, I don't know. And basically, all you do is you put it in a food processor or a one of these, which I have, and put the whisk attachment on, and you whisk and whisk and whisk until it becomes a solid, a crumbly sort of like a cottage cheese consistency. I'm going to go through all this so that you can see the process, how it works, how we arrive at the butter itself. And I'm just absolutely overwhelmed that it's actually turned out, you know, that it actually did create butter. There's lots of buttermilk as well left over. I mean, the butter that I've just shown you is only 6 cartons. So, and this is the buttermilk that was left over. It's in a yoghurt pot. It's not yoghurt. It's buttermilk. And I believe that it suggests in the book that you make sourdough with it. So that's another thing I shall be doing tomorrow or the day after. There's some more still at the bottom of there. I need to find another receptacle to put it in. Now, you can make butter by hand. You could put it in something like this, the cream sort of to here maybe, and then as long as it's not a breakable object that you're going to do this with, and as long as there's a very tight seal on the lid, You shake and shake and shake. Obviously, it's not going to happen with this because this has already been turned into butter and the buttermilk has been separated from it. You shake and shake and shake. It'd take a lot of shaking, I think. And then it turns into a solid at the bottom and your buttermilk as well. And then you would just drain off and use the butter as per normal. This freezes very, very well indeed, it says in the book. So once you've made your butter, you then wash it. So that's what you have to do. It says in the book 3 times. So also I'm just going to pop them in there to keep them nice and cold. It's not hot in the house. It's you know, January in a day or two, and although the heating's on, it's not terribly hot, but just to keep that cool for now. I think that's about it. So what I'm going to do now is place 2 cartons of milk in here. Let's see if I can, don't know if I can do this with one hand. Right, so, excuse me. Obviously, I wasn't born with any directing skills, although I was a former photographer in a previous life. Right, trying to do this with one hand so that you can see what I'm doing. It's not complicated, it's not rocket science, it's just emptying cream into a bowl, basically. So, whoa! Now, the butter I made earlier, I poured 2 of these cartons in. I'm just going to have to put that down for a second, I think, unless I can do this a little bit better than I did the last one. There you go. Right, it helps if you've got a big mouth so you can... Okay. Right, so I'm just pouring the cream in here. Now, I would scrape that out if I had another hand handy, just to make sure I'd use the dregs, but I'll use the dregs with the next lot. So, sorry Belle. She just has to get in on everything, doesn't she? I don't know if you've seen it, but I've made her a little jumper thing. Oh, she's embarrassed. Basically, it was just the sleeve off a cardigan that had these big puffy sleeves on. I didn't like it, so I decided to take the arms off, wear it as you know, a body warmer sort of thing myself, and then make a little coat, make little holes for the paws to go through. Isn't that nice? Is that nice, Belle? Yay! Okay, so we've poured the cream in. Now we just whisk. So I'm going to leave this as part 1, and then I'll show you at different stages as it thickens up so that you can see what's happening. But it'll be a bit boring if you're just watching it for, you know, 5 minutes or 8 minutes or however long it is. But I shall time it. Okay? Oh, beautiful. Bella, do you love your mummy? Bella, do you love mummy? No, I'm not interested in this is anything on the floor to eat. Okay. Oh gosh, I'm still recording. Okay, as you can see, I don't know if you can hear this, but it's starting to thicken up a bit now. Nowhere near the consistency that we need though. It will actually separate the thick cottage cheesy stuff that's going to make butter and the whey, the buttermilk, whatever it is. So the whey, at the end of it, the buttermilk will be sloshing around at the bottom by the time this process is finished. Let me just pause it for another minute or two. So this is a very definite stage that you can now say this is just like the thick double cream that you would have, you know, with a dessert, for example. But leave it for just a tiny amount of time, and it then does something completely different. It's getting, now you can see that it's starting to get quite thick. That would be a thick enough consistency, perhaps to fill an eclair, a chocolate eclair, or a cream bun or something like that. Now we just leave it like that, let it continue to do that for a few minutes. I'm just going to stop this here because it won't upload to YouTube if it's any longer. So watch part 2 shortly.